Hello, future Rossies and pre-med explorers. This is Milena Garcia, your host for Ross University Checking the Pulse, a pre-med podcast. This is our mini podcast featuring facts and information about our medical program, insights from current students, and tips from practicing physicians. Each week, this broadcast will be broken down in small episodes, focusing on one aspect of our program, also having guests talk about their own experiences as students and as doctors. Hello, future Rossies, and welcome to our third episode. This week's theme is the application process for Ross University School of Medicine. In this episode, we will cover how the admissions process works, from submitting the application to getting the final decision, and even after. I often get asked about our admissions criteria, MCAT and GPA requirements, prerequisites, volunteering, clinical experiences, and our holistic approach. So today, I invited our Assistant Director of Admissions from the Florida office, Angelique Cortmos, to join me for this conversation. Hi, Angelique. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you taking your time to join me for this podcast.
Hi, Milena. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Doing very well. So this week, we're going to be talking about our application process. So why don't we start with you taking a moment to introduce yourself to our future Rossies?
Yes. So my name is Angelique Cortmos. I am one of the Assistant Directors of Admissions at Ross University School of Medicine. I manage and oversee the process from application to decision. So from the student submitting their application to getting a decision, my team and I oversee that process. So I think one of the most unique things or aspect about our application process is the fact that we have 3 start semesters per year. We have our January semester, which is considered our spring semester. In May, we have our summer semester starting, and in September, we have our fall semester in that month.
So does that mean our application process is year-round?
Right. We are able to get students or applicants the decision year-round. We do encourage students to get their application in about 6 to 10 months. I highly encourage them to get their applications in about 6 to 10 months prior to this semester that they're aiming for.
Yes, that's a good idea because that gives us, the admissions department, time to process the application, and we approve as we go. So, of course, the sooner they apply, the better it is for them because they will get an earlier decision, right?
Absolutely. Another thing about that is that the sooner a student is able to get a decision, the sooner they'll be able to start planning for the future. There will be, they're going to have to transition to Barbados to do their 16 to 20 months there. So I encourage students to get their application in as soon as possible. That way we can get them a decision as soon as possible.
Yes. In fact, for our listeners, there's a really nice guide about the application process on our website. So we're going to encourage you to take a look at that. Once again, our website is medical.rossu.edu.
Right. And so on their website, once any of our prospective applicants are there, I do encourage them to take a look at our specific pages that are the information there is targeted to, our specific or special cohorts of applicants. So we have a page designated for international applicants, for our transfer applicants, for our Canadian cohort, and also for our career changers. We do have quite a bit of career changers that enter our program every year.
Right. What about our partnership?
Right. So while they're there on the website, again, we do also have a great partnership with HBCUs and HSIs nationwide. And for those of you listening who may not know, our HBCUs are historically Black colleges and universities, and HSIs are Hispanic Serving Institutes. We have our program, which is called our AIM Scholar Program. And AIM for us stands for Access to Inclusion in Medicine.
Yeah, so this is a really nice scholars program, and I will be doing an episode especially on our AIMS program. So everybody check it out. Make sure to come back to us for more information on our Access in Medicine Scholars program. Now, back to our application process. What are the prerequisites, please?
So prerequisites for our program, the committee is mainly looking for students to have completed a bachelor's degree. While they do not necessarily need to major in any of the sciences, we do require students to have completed certain science courses or prerequisites, if you will. And those are 2 semesters of biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, physics, which is equivalent to 8 credits. We also require 2 semesters of English and 1 semester of math.
And I know we take all of this under consideration under our holistic approach. So can you elaborate a little bit more? Once the students submit all their prerequisites, what happens after that? And can you talk a little bit more about this holistic approach?
Right. So our holistic approach is basically the unique way that the admissions committee review an applicant's file to make a determination whether or not they're qualified to be a RUSM or for another decision. Some of the items that's being reviewed there is that the student's personal statement, their resume. We want to see medically relevant experience. There are some students who don't necessarily work in the medical field, but what I've seen is that they will do shadowing or maybe even work as a scribe or volunteer at medical facilities just to get that experience. We also are looking at your letters of recommendation. Of course, MCAT and GPA does play a factor there, and a personal interview, which we'll go over in just a bit, also is a part of the packet and a part of the documents and information that's reviewed for that holistic approach.
Angelique, as the Assistant Director of Applications, tell us, what is the secret? What makes a strong candidate for our program?
So I wouldn't say we have any specific secret. However, we are looking for students that are dedicated. We're looking for, or applicants at this stage that have grit. We're looking for applicants that are, able to adapt and overcome in different situations. As a physician, you can understand that that's definitely a characteristic that you're going to need to have.
And during this process, is there anything that you see that the applicants are doing that you would suggest they change?
Yeah, I think from my conversations with different applicants throughout the years, one of the things that really stands out to me the most is applicants self-selecting themselves. They're self-selecting out. You don't want to be the one to say, no, I'm not qualified for med school. No, I won't make it. I would definitely highly encourage applicants to allow the committee to make that decision. At the bare minimum, give us a call. We can talk you through the process. We can let you know, what you need to have. We can let you know what you need to work on, but don't select yourself out. I will definitely do not encourage that at all, because you never know. You may be qualified and you're telling yourself that you're not. So allow the committee to make that decision.
Agreed. And because of this holistic approach, there are several things that we look for and that we see during the interview, during the personal statements that may be hidden in there that really speaks about the candidates that we are looking for, right? So, and after this, what can the applicant expect?
All right, so after the applicants submit their application, they're going to be assigned their very own admissions coordinator, and their admissions coordinator basically walk them through the process, make sure they have everything in their file, tell them what's missing from their file, just make sure that the packet that is being presented to the committee is in full and it's in its best state possible to make sure we're able to get the best decision or the ideal decision for the applicant. Their admissions coordinator is going to be there for them throughout the way, and then we'll do a handoff at the end to your other coordinator that's going to hold your hand and walk you through the rest of the process.
And let's say best case scenario, the decision is they're invited to join us. What happens after that decision?
Awesome. So definitely that's what we want. We want the students to be admitted. We want them to join us. We love our RUSMs. We love working with the applicants. And so after they get that big decision that they're going to be moving on to med school and starting their first step in their career, they are connected with what we refer to as our new student coordinator. And that's basically what they are. You are now a new student with Ross University School of Medicine, and now you're assigned to your new student coordinator that walk you through the process from your getting your decision to your very first day in med school. As you know, our campus is located in Barbados, so your new student coordinator is going to assist you with passport, help you out with any immunization that you need to get. They will also arrange transportation from the airport in Barbados to your living quarters once you are there. Police record, they're going through the entire packet with you and making sure you're all set and ready to transition to Barbados.
This is really nice. And as you highlight this timetable, it sounds like we really do have somebody going along every piece of the step with the applicant until they are an accepted student. That's great.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think I would say, yep, my apologies. I would say that is one of another very unique thing about our school is that we to really hold our students' hand and walk them through to make sure that they are doing everything that they need to do to make it through med school.
Great. Any last recommendations? I appreciate you taking the time, but I want to give you a minute to maybe speak directly to our future Rossies.
Our future Rossies. So I think the one recommendation I would say is, and I think I've kind of touched on this before, don't select yourself out. Allow the committee to do that. Allow the committee to review your application. Allow them to make that decision for you, whether or not you're qualified for med school. And also, if you are that student that's been always dreaming about becoming a physician, follow your dream. We're here. We'll definitely be able to walk you through and guide you to help you see that dream come to life.
Great. Angelique, once again, I really appreciate you taking your time to spend this 15 minutes talking to us about the application process. I think this has been a really good conversation. It's great to know about this dedicated team of individuals, the admissions coordinators, the interviewers, the new student coordinators that work together to make this a very effective process. And thank you for coming to the podcast to share this information with us. I appreciate it.
It is my absolute pleasure, Melina. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Ross University Checking the Pulse, a pre-med podcast. This is Milena Garcia, your host. This podcast is made for you, so let me know what topics you want us to cover on future episodes. You can send me your comments, feedbacks, and requests to mgarcia@rossu.edu. Definitely follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at Ross Med School or on Facebook. If you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, I am working my way to 5 stars, so remember to send me your comments and let me know your ideas. If you're on Spotify, remember to click on the follow button to get our future episodes. All right, see you future Rossies and Pre-Med Explorers next week.